Good afternoon. Today we are going to cover a very important topic in this video, which is the recent decision of the Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Canon India. The powers of DRI, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, to issue show cause notice has always been under dispute. So we are going to cover this particular aspect in this video. We are going to cover the statutory provisions and notifications thereunder. We'll analyze the Canon India ruling. We'll also discuss the past jurisprudence on the subject and the way forward. Moving ahead, the relevant provisions which deal with the recovery of customs duty is Section 28, wherein the proper officer of customs can issue show cause notice to recover customs duty not levied or not paid, or short levied or short paid. Proper officer has been defined under Section 2, Clause 34. Board has been empowered under Section 4 to appoint officer of customs. Now, any officers of customs can be appointed by the board, and this appointment can be made for other officers as well. Further, the assignment of powers and functions has been done by issuing notification under Section 40. Now, this notification has been issued by the board under Section 2, Clause 34 of the Customs Act. That is, the definition provision has been used to assign powers of assessment and reassessment to the customs officers. Moreover, the relevant provision for entrusting the powers is Section 6. Now, no notification has been issued by the central government to entrust the functions of customs officers onto DRI officers. Under Section 4, the board has appointed DRI officers as customs officers, but there is no entrustment of power under Section 6. So what Canon India did? Canon India analyzed these provisions, and the Honorable Apex Court held that the term proper officer used in Section 28 accompanies the article the. That means only that proper officer which initially assess the goods alone can issue show cause notice for reassessment. DRI is therefore not empowered. Secondly, what court also held is that the notification issued by the board under Section 2, Clause 34, empowering DRI is ill-founded. Firstly, because the said provision did not empower the board to issue any notification. It is not a notification under Section 6 for entrustment of functions. Secondly, the notification has been issued by the board and not by the central government as required under Section 6. Therefore, DRI was held to be not competent to issue show cause notice under Section 28, and the show cause notice was therefore quashed. Now, going to the past jurisprudence, in the past also, in the case of Syed Ali and others, Honorable Apex Court had very categorically held that power of recovery under Section 28 has to be assigned to the proper officer. And in that case, it was Commissioner Preventive who had issued show cause notice under Section 28, and court held that Commissioner Preventive is not the proper officer who assessed the original bill of entry, and therefore he was not empowered. Now, pursuant to Syed Ali case, government amended the provisions of Section 28 by introducing Section 2811 in April 2011. And analyzing this amendment of Section 2811, Honorable Delhi High Court in the case of Mangli Impex, while relying upon Syed Ali, held that DRI and DGCEI officers are not proper officers for issuing show cause notices under Section 28 for the period prior to amendment in April 2011. They also relied, Honorable High Court also relied on explanation 2 to Section 28, which categorically stated that all past cases will be governed by the law as it existed prior to April 11. Therefore, relying on such explanation, court held that all past show cause notices are bad in law, whereas show cause notices issued after the amendment alone would be valid. Now, Mangli Impacts is presently stayed by Supreme Court. So now next we will deal with the way forward. Now that all the show cause notices issued by DRI have been declared to be bad in law, so thousands and thousands of show cause notices which are either pending or which are in the process of issuance, their fate is in doubt. So the chances are that government will retrospectively amend the provisions of Customs Act to empower DRI and will also likely to issue Validation Act to validate the actions already taken, show cause notices already issued, recoveries already made, so that taxpayers need not pile up cases of refund, etc. It is also possible that government will file a review petition after making the retrospective amendment before Canon India. Now, high courts have already started relying on Canon India case. In the case of Quantum Coal, Madras High Court has already quashed the show cause notice issued by DRI. And in Waters India case, Karnataka High Court has stayed the proceedings under the show cause notice issued by DRI. Both these cases have relied upon Canon India. Also, adjudication, so after the Canon India judgment, board has issued instructions number 4 of 2021, whereby they have directed the DRI to get all the show cause notices issued from jurisdictional commissionerates, and for the pending show cause notices which have already been issued by DRI, board has directed that all such matters be kept in abeyance, proceedings be kept pending, so that appropriate action should be taken only after board takes a call as to what retrospective amendment they will bring. This is not the first time that such infirmity has been pointed out by courts. In the past also, courts have found infirmity and invalidity in the provisions, and government has retrospectively amended the law. So, in the case of Cotspun, Honorable Supreme Court held that there was no short levy of duty in cases where a classification list was already approved. Now, in such a situation, government retrospectively amended Section 11A to hold that notwithstanding any approval or acceptance, Section 11A would continue to apply, and show cause notice for short levy can be issued. Likewise, in the case of home solutions, where the issue was whether renting of immobile property was taxable under the Finance Act and service tax was leviable or not, Delhi High Court held that only services in relation to renting were taxable and not renting per se. Now, again, the Finance Act 1994 was retrospectively amended and a validation provision was inserted. And thereafter, this Delhi High Court judgment was set aside by Honorable Supreme Court. There are multiple jurisprudence even under income tax. For instance, the famous Vodafone case is there, where Section 9 was of the Income Tax Act 1961 was retrospectively amended. So there are multiple instances in the past where such retrospectively amendments have been made, and those have been upheld by the courts. Now the question remains whether in this, is it based on Canon India, is it advisable to challenge all the show cause notices issued by DRI before writ courts. While this action can be taken, writ petitions can be filed. In all likelihood, since the government is likely to come out with retrospective amendment and validation provisions, all such writ petitions, etc., would become infructuous in the times to come. Therefore, it may not be advisable. Rather, one should wait and watch for some time, and will see the retrospective amendment. Another important aspect that comes to mind is the current GST law. Now, pursuant to Section 3 and Section 5, a notification has been issued which empowers Directorate General of GST Intelligence and Directorate General of Audit to carry out functions of central tax officers under the Central GST Act and IGST Act. The question remains that here also DRI officers have not been empowered. But when we see the cases, so supposing there are cases where there is import of raw material against advance authorizations. Now, for the imported exemption, wherever it has been claimed, exemptions claimed on imported material, definitely DRI has powers. But when such imported raw material is utilized in finished goods and such finished goods are exported, which is the zero rated supply, either after availing upfront exemption under LUT or after payment of IGST and then refund is being claimed. We have noticed that DRI is investigating such matters as well, whereas DRI has not been empowered under the IGST Act. Therefore, while till date there are no case laws on the subject, but it will be interesting to see how this particular aspect unfolds, and keep watching our videos on this subject. Thank you. That is all from our side. Thank you.